what we have built so far. We have our beautiful home screen. Here we have some static data, and on clicking on this plus icon, we can create a contact. We can also pick images. So what now I want to do is I want to persist my data. I want whatever I write here. Let's say if I write something here, I fill all the fields, and then on clicking on save contact, I should be able to save my this data, so that if I open my application next time, it should be visible on the home screen. It should not get lost. Okay, so I have to store it somewhere. So where can I store that? So for that, to store the data, we can use something called as async storage. So async storage is basically a device storage. You can store some data on your device itself. So we installed it previously, day before yesterday. We have already installed it, and we can start using it. So first of all, let me import this. Control C and create contact, and here on the top we can import it. So let's read the documentation a little bit. So how to save something on our device? Okay, so it's very similar to how we have local storage in web. Same, the way how local storage works, async storage works the same way. So we have the set item, and we can create a key, and we can store the value in it. Okay, so async storage, that is device storage, uh, it stores string values. Okay, so let's say here what we want to store. We want to store first name, last name, phone number, and image. Okay, we want to store these four things. Okay, so what we can do is we can create an object, and we can store that object. Okay, so in order to store that object, first we have to stringify it. Okay, so we can use JSON stringify, and we can convert that object into string, and then we can store it. Simple. So what I'll do is I'll copy this from the documentation, and I can paste it here. Control V. Instead of store data, I can rename it to, let's say, maybe save save uh, contact. And so what we want to save, let's create a one constant here on the top. So I'll create a constant, and maybe I can give it a name, let's say current contact, and this will be an object. So we want to store an object. So this object will have first name, let's say first name, and this is the key, and the value of this will be first name, which is our state variable here. Oh, my bad. First name, this one. So here you can notice key and value both are same. So if key and value both are same, then we can just condense it down to just first name. Similarly, we will be adding last name. Last name, I can copy it. Last name as my key and value, and then phone number, and then image. This is my object. Now I want to store this object. I want to save this data. So first of all, let me get rid of this try catch. We will add it later. I can use async storage dot set item, and in set item we have to first pass a key to it. So let's say we can create a key, let's say contact, and then we can convert this. We can store this current contact, but we have to convert it into string. So I can wrap this with JSON stringify dot stringify to convert it into a string. So if we do this way, we have to put await in front of it as well, because this may take a little bit. So we have to await it. Yeah. So there's a problem with this approach. Let's say if we created a contact and we saved it first time, and if we try to create a second contact for the second time, then what will happen is this will get overridden, right? So this approach will not work. What we want is, maybe we can create an array, and then each time we create a contact, we can append that object to that array, and we can persist that array itself. So that's the better approach we can take here. Okay, so what we will do is, let's say if we are trying to save the contact for the first time, I can wrap this in a square brackets. So this is going to be array, and that array, it will have only one contact. Okay, so if we try to save contact for the second time, then what we can do is, first of all, we can get the contacts that are already there in our local storage or async storage, we can call it as. So to get it, again, let's go to documentation and see how to get it. So in order to read data from the local storage, we can use get item and the key which we have used to store it, right? So we have given it a key of name contacts, right? So let me copy this thing, Control C, and I can write it Control V here. So in place of this, I will replace it with contact. Or we can add a S here, right? Contacts, makes sense. So if we have something in our local storage, then what we will do is, so in our local storage, we have this array, right? But this is in string, right? We converted this array to string. So we have to convert it back to array. So if we want to convert it back to array, so we will be using JSON dot parse and then the value, like so. So now in this, we will get all contacts, and now this is an array. And once we get our all the contacts, and now we can push to this array, our new contact that we are trying to create. So all let me write all contacts dot push and then the current contact. And we can get rid of this catch, Control X, and Control Z. Current contact, we can get rid of the sketch, Control X array. And we can, where is our if condition? We can add a else to this if, and in else we will add this line of code, and here we can put our catch code. Okay, so let me explain it again. So when we try to create our contact for the first time, we will not have anything in our storage. This condition will become false. Then this code inside as will run, and then this contact will be saved. So we have in our local storage, we have only one contact, that is we have array, and inside that array we have only one contact. And if we try to create a new contact but for the second time, then this code will run. So basically in our all contact, our second contact will get pushed. Similarly, third contact, fourth contact, like this way. Okay, and inside catch we can maybe throw an alert. Let's say if something went wrong, then we can throw a alert that ALERT. To throw some alert, we can use alert function. We have that in React Native. So we do not need to import it. We can import it, but it works without importing as well. And maybe we can write, let's say, error saving contact. Okay, one more thing. Before saving it, what we can do is we can add one more if condition on the top. Let's say if any of these fields are empty, then in that case, we can also throw an alert that please add all the fields, something like that. Okay, so we can add that validation check here. So if first name is not available, or if last name is not available, or if phone number is empty, or if image, not this, I should be small. If any of the things, okay, I have to put not here. If any of these four things, I have put or in between those. If any of these four things are not available, so we can throw an alert, al alert, please add all the fields, fi fields. Okay, and looks good to me. Let's save this and let me call this function control C, and we can call it when we will click on the save contact. So on the save contact, we can call this function like so. Okay, let's save this. Let's try to run it. First of all, we will keep all these things empty and we will click on save contact. We should get alert. Okay, please add all the fields. We are getting alert. Beautiful. Let's try to fill it now. Uh, let's say, let me again verify my code. Mm, this is this and mm, hmm, okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay. Uh, let's add last name, maybe Kumar, phone number, maybe 12345 6. Let's pick image and let's crop. We can crop this as well, and let's crop it, and it's done. And if you click on save contact, it's saved. So we should add a feedback also. Once the contact is saved, we can throw an alert that this contact saved successfully, or maybe we can navigate user back to its home screen. Okay, we will add it later. First of all, on the home screen, now we should show the contact that we have in our local storage, right? That we have in our device storage. Let's work for that. So now in home screen, we have this user array which has this static data, right? Now we want to make it dynamic. So we have to import a use state hook from that from React. Now this user will not be a normal variable. This will be our state variable, because whenever it changes, we want our component to re-render itself. That's why we have to create a state variable, and initially this user will be, let's say, empty array. We can keep it as empty array initially. So this is the syntax for creating a state variable. So we can give the state variable name user, and to update this we can create one more method. Let's say set users. Okay, so whenever our components loads, initially our users will be empty. Okay, and then when our component is ready, then what we want is we want to get all the context from our local storage, and then we want to update this. So for that, when our component is ready, we want to call a function automatically. That function should be called automatically. For that, we can use a hook. We have another hook in React, that is use effect. Okay, so this use effect, code inside use effect will automatically get executed once our component is mounted. Okay, and here we have to pass an empty dependency array. So there is a lot more to cover about this use effect, but I'm not going to do that in this session. So basically what this code will do, the code which we will write inside this use effect, it will automatically get executed. Okay, yeah, whenever our component loads. So inside this, we want to get the context from our local storage. So again, what we can do is we can mm, we can do the same thing. Let's copy this, Control C, and let me create a one more function. Let's say const get all event contacts, and Control V. Oh, we can rename this to get all contacts, and I want to get this time contacts, CONTACTS. value, if the value is not equal to null, then in that case we want to update this variable. So whenever this variable updates, our component will re-render itself. So we can use set users method that we have created here to update our state variable, and I will pass value to this. So in our value we will have, let me think of this. We will get a string, right? So we have to convert back to array. This is what I believe. Yes. So we have to write here JSON dot parse like so. And in catch, we can throw an alert, be error getting contacts. And now, simple, we just have to call this function in use effect. So whatever code we put inside use effect, it will get automatically executed, and it will only execute for the first time, because here we have passed an empty dependency array. By passing this empty array, this function or the code inside whatever inside use effect we write, it will execute only one time when our component loads them. Yep. So let's save this, and we are getting error for some reason. We can log that error as well. Uh, okay, let's have a look on our console. Can't find variable async storage. Okay, my bad. I have to import it as well. Control C and Control V. Let's save this. I got the reason. Okay, so yeah, so we have to change the name right now. In our array we have first name, last name, phone number, image. Okay, so here where we are using it from the item, we have, oh, we do not have ID first of all. Okay, we can use phone number as a ID because phone number is going to be unique, right? So I can write phone number as my ID, and then an item I have image, I image. Okay, and then I have item dot first name, and then let's say we want to show last name as well, right? So here I can add a one more bracket, and I can write here item dot last name. Okay, so the whatever key that we have given, we are using the name here. Okay, to output the content. Let's save this and let me reload it. Rest everything looks good to me. Async storage dot get item value set users catch. Okay.
ऐप ऐप कनेक्ट नहीं हुआ तो वो कर दो, अनइंस्टॉल करके कर दो।
क्रैश हो गया।
हाँ, क्रैश हो गया।
फिर से रन करते हैं। Let's run it again. We are almost done. The last functionality we will add is we should be able to call that user. Let's see first how app works currently. Each child in list should have a unique key. Sorry for that. Dishant, you can find what went wrong?
What?
What is going wrong here?
हाँ एक मिनट.
Item.image, json.parseValue. Let's try to create a new contact.
हाँ वो एरर लिखा है वो. अच्छा दैट्स अ वार्निंग.
Async Storage dot contact. If it is not null, then we are setting it.
हाँ यूनिक की का ही है शायद से error.
So something went wrong in our array. First name, image, all are empty, it seems. Okay, let's see. Set item contact. Oh, my bad. So if you can notice this kind of silly mistake, it's quite possible. So whenever we are, pushing a second time, then again we are just pushing it to the that array, right? This all contact, we have to save this all contact as well, right? Yeah, so that's the mistake here. I got it. So yeah, we took all the context from a local storage, and then we are putting it in a all contact variable, but and then we are pushing a newly created contact, but then we are not persisting this thing, so we have to persist it. So let me copy this thing, control C, control V, and again the key will be same, but this time we will write here JSON stringify, and we will write all contexts like so. Let's save this, and I have to delete this whatever I have in my local storage. For that, I think I can clear it from here. Okay, let's try to run it again. Or let's see the documentation how to remove something from the local storage. I think it's remove item. Let's click on API, set item, merge item, remove item. So if you want to remove that item, we can just use this remove item and pass a key to it. Simple. So let's remove whatever we have in our local storage. First of all, what will I do is, I can write the code inside here. Control C, Control V, and here I can write contexts. So our local storage is now empty. So one more thing that we can do is, first of all, let's try to add a new contact. Okay, now let's start fresh. Let's click on save contact. Let's go back, and we have to reload this home page. We will fix this issue in a while, but we should now be able to see that. Okay, it worked. Let's try to save new contact, another contact. Let me give it a name, random name, and pick image, crop it, save it, and let me reload this again. And boom, there we go. So we can see the contact, but this is not updating in a instantly. Okay, we have to reload it. So we will fix this issue first. Let me see why we are getting this warning. Key is item.phone. Phone number should be always unique. That we have to make sure. Phone. First name, last name, phone, image. Okay, it's correct. Okay. So let's fix this issue. We have to reload it in order to see the saved contact, right? So what we can do is, we have something. Let's say if this screen is in focus, right? We navigate to this screen and then we again come back to this screen. Now this screen is in focus state, right? So whenever this screen is in focus state, we want to execute code inside USPAC again, right? So in React navigation, we have something called as, I'll import it. We have something, we will import something from at the rate React navigation / native, and it's a hook. Basically, use is focused. Okay, and I have to initialize this hook. So const, let's give it a name of focus, and use is focused. Okay, and we have to create one more use effect hook, use effect, and now we want to call this get all contacts again, but this time we have to pass a dependency to it. So we want to call this only when we have this screen is in focus state. So we will pass this focus as an argument to our dependency array, like this. Okay, now this should fix this issue. Okay, let's try it again. Mm, image, crop it, save contact. If we go back, there you go. This time we need not to refresh it, right? And again, when we are creating a contact, we can write the code so that it should automatically navigate to its previous screen, right? So for that, here you can write, uh, once everything is done, then we can write navigation. We have access to navigation prop here. No, so we have to restructure navigation from here, from props. Now we can use it. We can use navigation, and we can use navigate as well. Navigate, and we can pass a name of that screen, or we could also use simply go back. Since this is a stack, we can use go back to go back to its previous screen, right? Let's save this. We will try to save one more contact. Maybe save contact, and boom, there we go. We automatically got navigated to home screen. So this is, so here we are, and last feature. Okay, we should be able to call this person. Okay, let's finish it quickly. We have to add icon. So let's go to export icons. And let's search for call or something like that. Maybe this. Okay. Let's import this. Where should we use it? We can put it on the right side here, somewhere here. So first of all, we have view. Inside this view, we have image and text. Okay. And then we have to push it to the right side, right? So we will create a one more view. I think we should create a one more view. Or yeah, we should create a one more view. And this view will have, first of all, this item. Okay, let's save this first. Nothing break. Okay, and then we will add icon. Control C, Control V. Let's add it. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so it's coming here. So now I want these two items. So we have one item inside this view. Inside this view, we have this one item, and then we have this two item. Okay, if I can minimize this view, see, so we have these two items in our root view, right? So here I can write add a style, and then I want these two items to align in a row. So I can add flex direction, and that will be row, and I want to align it in a row wise. So I can use justify content. So justify content adds a spacing in a way, in a direction that we have set. So justify content, see, content, and that will be space between, maybe we can add. Let's see. It looks good. We have to center it also. So for that I can add align item. So if you want to align it in a opposite direction, we can use align items, and that will be center. Let's save this. Perfect. And then we can change the color of this to, let's say, green, and we can increase the size, let's say 30 units. Let's save this. Okay. To me it looks good. Maybe if we can add a padding of 5 units, let's see. This card. Perfect. So again, you can work on the styling if you don't like it. It's decent for now. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking good to me. So when I click on it, I should be able to navigate to a dialer screen where the number should be already typed, right? So I'll create a function here, maybe open dial. Let's use arrow function. And we have to import something from React Native, or I think from Expo. Not sure. Yeah, something called as linking. And so in this open dial, we will pass a phone number as an argument. So whichever phone number that we want that phone number to be typed on a dialer screen, that we will pass as an argument, and then we can here use linking dot open URL, and here we have to concatenate the string. So first of all, we will write here tell, and then colon, and then the number which we want to open, which we want to call basically. So we have to pass this phone number as a variable. So maybe we can use string concatenation. So I will be using template literals for that. Dollar and then phone, like so. And now I can control C, and I can here add on press, and on press I'll call function open dial. Here I'll pass phone number. So I have access to the phone number, right? Item.phone. So I'll copy this and I will pass item.phone here, like so. Let's save this. Okay, and now let's click on the icon. So see, it's opening dialing screen and number is already typed here. Okay. Yep, perfect. Let's try it again with this number. Okay, so number is dynamic. So I think this is it for this session. I know I was too fast, but we want to cover this right today on this session only. Okay, so there are so many enhancements that you can add to this app. Okay, for example, maybe when we click image, you can show image here as well. It will give nice feedback to the user, that it will show that what image they have selected. Maybe you can show phone number here also as well. You can add option to delete contact. You can add option to edit contact. You can add all those things by yourself. You can take this as your homework and you can do that. Yeah, so I think we are good, Dishant. Our application is finished. So it has all the bare minimum
Yes, we can
features.
now convert to that.
Come again?
Now we can convert it now to the APK if we want.
Yeah, that is very straightforward. Anyone has any questions so far? So converting it is really straightforward. We can type expo build standalone apps. So what you could do is, in our app.json, we let's say if you want to build an APK, so what we will do is we will add a package name. It's basically a unique name to your application. You can add a package name, and then you have to add a version code. That's it. And then we can type expo build android to build a APK. Yeah, that's it, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Let's open our app.json. So our name of application is this. We have already Android. So if you want to change the icon and a splash screen, all those things, you can do it from here. You can change it from here. So we have this assets folder here. All the icons and splash screens are there. If you will change this icon, your app icon will also change. So you can change here. I'll keep the default. Okay, I'll add the package name and version code. Copy, Control C and Control V. Maybe here I can write com.my company name. Let's say CNQ app name contact CONT contact, like so. Version code is 1. So whenever you publish your app to Play Store, let's say, so every time you have to increment this version code. Okay. Yes. That's something that to keep in mind. This version can remain one. Okay, this version you can keep it whatever, but this version code needs to be incremented every time you publish your new app to app stores. So we are done. What we can do is we can open a separate terminal. Okay, and here I can type expo build android, generate apk. It's asking for me to apk to select an apk. You know what that means. Okay, we can select. It's asking me to generate a key store or I want to upload it mine. Okay, let's generate new key store. So I think expo will generate a new key store file for us. So key store is basically a unique certificate that you are attaching to your application, which tells that you are the creator of this application. So yeah, so each time when you build a apk, you should keep this key store somewhere on a safe place. So if you build this app for the next time, you will use the same key store. Okay, so there's a I think command here to extract the key store that expo has generated for us. You will find that command somewhere on the documentation. uh, yeah, this expo fetch android key store. If you will type this command, it will give you the key store and then you can keep it on a safe place. So if you will build your app for the next time, you can use the same key store file. Okay, so it will generate. I am sure that application will generate APK. Okay, anyone has any question? We are done for our application. Anyone has any doubt, they can ask. We can take the doubts now. We have some time left with us. Dishant, you want to add something to this?
No, no. If you guys have any doubts, you can ask.
So what I have done is I have also created a repo where I am basically updating the code. So I'll push today's session code to here as well. So you can download and have a look on it. So on the dashboard, If you do not have Expo account created on Expo, you can create it, and here it will show your builds. Okay, so this is the contact application. Here I can see all the details of my project. Once it's built, I think I can download APK from here. So Expo is building a application on their server, right? So that's why Android Studio is not required. I am using Android Studio because I am using virtual device. That's the reason. Else Android Studio is not required if you are using Expo. You can use real device for testing. Anyone has any questions? If you guys want to learn more about React Native, so you can visit my channel, Coders Never Quit. There I have this amazing playlist. Here you can learn more about React Native. So this is the playlist. It has many projects. We have created an application like OLX kind of clone, push notifications, application similar to WhatsApp. There you can chat one to one. So I can add this playlist link. The updated playlist, everything is updated.
Yes,
You
and also after you start developing interest in React Native, you have to learn it, integrating it with the backend databases using Firebase, using this playlist only. So you have to do that.
Yeah, so you can reach out to me if you have any questions. You can reach out to me on my Instagram, or yeah, you can reach out to me Instagram. I am active there. So still APK is still in queue. So it's take a little bit time, but I am sure it will build it. So I think we can wrap it up for today's session. If anyone has no questions.
Sir, I wanted to know, so like, which are the best ways or best practices we should follow to keep our app in like limited size, or like it shouldn't like has the unnecessary much like extra MBs.
Hmm. So see, we are using here Expo, so we do not have much control of the native code, right? So Expo, whatever size Expo give us, we have to take that. Apart from that, let's say if you are still using Expo, then instead of creating a APK, you can build. We have one more option, right? Whatever what we call it as. When we were building it, it asked us, right? You want to build APK or you want to generate one more file. What was the file name? If I can scroll up. Uh, Let me see. Let me Google build type. It's ABB, I guess, or something like that. ABB. The file is ABB. Apart from APK, you can build ABB format file. So the advantage of that is, if you let's say if you upload your application to App Store, so Google will optimize your size for that based on the user's hardware. So this you can take this
Okay,
approach if you are
sir.
using Expo.
Okay.
Hmm.
Also, sir,
So
in the native, if you wanted to, like, if you are coding in native, and then, sir, what practices we should follow? Say, many times we install some of the unnecessary packets and we never use them, and also, like, they also increase.
uh, when it happens,
Does installing too many packets and
mm,
using a very slice part of it also increases the app size? I just has the doubt.
mm, yeah, so that you have to keep track of, right? Whichever dependencies you are not using, you have to manually install it.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Mhm. I do not know if there is a shortcut to automatically remove those dependencies, but yeah, you can manually remove them.
Also, if you have any errors because of the dependencies or the external, like if you install mask view, React Native community already has it, and you have imported another one, so it will give an error. So you have to just uninstall the node mod npm package and then reinstall it. It will take the administrator permissions, but you have to uninstall it and then again just write npm install in the command prompt, so you are in the terminal, so it will be working fine.
Yes, yes. Okay, thanks.
So we use export. It's so that our learning experiences should be good, right? So we can quickly build our application, but for in so export is good for only small applications. So if you will consider, building a larger application, then at some point you will reach where you will feel like that I need to use this library, but you can't use that library because that library will, let's say, require some change in the native code. At that point, what you can do is you can eject from expo. What will happen is your expo project will convert into the React Native CLI one. So that also option has expo has that option to eject it from expo. So still expo is an advantage, right? At any point if you feel like I do not want expo now, so you can eject it from expo.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, I think so. We can wrap it up the session now. I would like to thank Mukesh sir for his valuable time and imparting knowledge to the students. I would also like to extend our gratitude towards the principal of RAIT, Dr. Mukesh Padil sir, and HOD of IT department, Dr. Ashish Jadhav sir. Thank you, dear participants, for joining us today. We hope you all enjoyed the session. Participants can start making any small app from the learnings of sessions and keep it updated on GitHub. We'll provide the submission link on the 14th. Please complete today's attendance. Link is pasted in the chat box. Until then, keep learning, keep revising, keep coding. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mukesh sir and Dishan sir, for giving us time and explaining the concepts in very nice way.
No problem. My pleasure.